Warning: Title 17 U.S. Code 512F provides penalties for the deliberate misrepresentation of copyright infringement. The owners and authors of this video, the common denominator, and the Paramystic Broadcast Channel are a nonprofit 501c3 exempt organization and believes in good faith that it constitutes educational fair use, as per Title 17 U.S.C. 107. Persons, agencies, attorneys, and or social media algorithms filing a false or frivolous Digital Millennium Copyright Act complaint may be subject to civil liability. Warning: the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Accordingly, viewer discretion is advised.
How's everybody doing this Tuesday?
Good. How are you? Hello, Joe.
Hey, Joe. How's it going? I seen you were out springtime. You're out getting things fixed up for car shows and stuff, something like that. So
There you go.
It's been a while since we've been on. All kinds of crazy stuff going on. Must have been that solar eclipse that's causing the climate change.
Hogwash. But, you know, talking about that solar eclipse, was it not crazy, the damn earthquake that happened right under Donald Trump's golf course?
I didn't even hear of one under his golf course.
Yeah, they found that they said the epicenter was right under his golf course.
Where?
Up there in New Jersey, right on the edge.
Trying to open up and swallow him or something?
I don't know. There's a nuclear power plant right next to it, so maybe that had something to do with it. Who knows?
I don't know.
But then there was also lightning striking the Statue of Liberty too. That at that time, that was insane as well.
Well, I'm sure lightning strikes the Statue of Liberty quite often, but
I don't know.
It is.
I don't know.
Copper. That's quite a conductor, surrounded by water. So
yeah.
At least here in Florida, we get lightning everywhere all the time. So I didn't know it was underneath his golf course, though.
Yep. I was watching Dutch Sins, and he tracked the epicenter of it straight under Trump's golf course. And if you're wanting to know about earthquakes and what causes them and the plate shift, Dutch Sins is a fabulous person to watch. He continuously says, truck it to the USGS and keeps advertising and giving his forecast, and they are accurate.
Well, Kimberly has a different idea on it. She says it's all those people walking around with 2.5 million sexually transmitting diseases and the numbers are still rising. So,
well, that's definitely an issue. I mean, we have all these immigrants coming in, and we have no clue where they're at.
No, but if New York City or something, if you want to get rid of them, if y'all want to fly somewhere else in the U.S., here's a free ticket. Well, anywhere in the world, I think. So you can.
Well, you know, they're going to be racking up some frequent flyer miles because they have 4 major centers in New York City, and they have been told they have 30 days to find somewhere to go.
Find somewhere.
Because they're evicted.
Yeah, I heard there's another scam with that too. Like they're getting evicted from there, but that's one of their things of building more or converting more stuff into affordable housing is then they can go and rent it. Now you're no longer staying in motels, but we're giving you a house to stay in instead.
How are they going to rent a house when they can't work because they haven't been given a work visa?
You
And
know
there's
the
a 10-year wait.
you know there's a full solution to that, Sally.
Ah, that's right. Squatters' rights.
No, not just squatters' rights. Give them work visas.
Oh, they're not doing that.
Give them all work visas. Hey,
Hello,
Chris, how are you
Chris
doing today?
Carlson. I don't know you, but hello. Welcome to the show.
He was watching with when me, Vince, and Dave were on the show last week. So,
Cool.
and then, well, I wanted to show y'all one of the funny things that happened in Florida, where right in my local area, not real local, but I drove past there today. I'll say that much. And this is full on Florida man here. Nothing bad, but yeah. So the title of this is No Shoes, No Equipment, No Problem. From our Florida man friend, Blue Collar Brawler, Drag Rich, a licensed Florida alligator trapper in Jacksonville. So this was this morning, I
Cool.
believe. Yep.
Oh, that's a baby.
Yeah, that's a little.
Oh my data boy.
Well, he has a promising career as an alligator wrestler.
Well, he's already a licensed catcher, it said. I thought it was actually somebody that just stopped and caught him on the side of the road, but you see the police department out there and everything. So, yeah, that's the kind of stuff we've been having lately is we've been having a lot of gator calls, but it is mating season, so probably not a good time to do a lot of stuff out. Well,
Love is in the air.
I mean, people are so scared of alligators. Yeah, love is in the air, so they're out trying to get some love. So
Yeah, well, I did see one. Been a while, but it was an alligator that come up out of a lake and was chasing people. Probably close to a nest though.
yeah, that's usually when they get. Or if oh duh, that's Chris from. He's usually watching us on Twitch. The guy that come up and talked on our panel a few weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Chris from duh. Sorry, Chris. I keep on forgetting your last name. But yeah, that guy.
Well, send him an invite. Tell him to get on in here.
Yeah, if he wants to come on in here. Wait a minute. I don't think I can right now.
Uh-oh.
We could probably put it in
No
chat.
problem. Hey,
no
yay.
problem, so. Let's see. I'll just put it on YouTube and send it if he wants to come up.
Well, there's the link on. There it is.
I can put it to everywhere. To heck with it. Anybody wants to come up, we can come up because tonight we're just bullshitting.
Jump on here. We can shoot the shit no matter where we're going. Because with the way the night's going, the last 3 weeks, we've been going everywhere. The media has been going berserk.
Yeah, so I got some friends that always say that they don't care about politics or even want to know anything about politics or anything else. And I always kind of talked back to them saying, you know, you need to learn a little bit about politics to know what's going on. And they pretty much say they hate all politicians. So I get made fun of for being a Trump supporter. I make fun of them for not knowing anything about Trump, I guess. So
it pays to be informed. Because if you don't know what's going on, you're going to get blue screwed and tattooed and wonder what happened while you was asleep. Oh, wait a minute. We do that anyway.
No, we do that anyway. So not really a big difference, but
Capitol Hill works at night while we are sleeping.
I didn't know they did anything, but
yeah, they work at night.
Excuse me.
Very seldom do they work during the daytime because they have so many protesters that's coming into committee hearings and protesting.
Yeah, they've been protesting all right. Not at the committee.
And I've seen some dude. I've been seeing some Lulus coming out of Capitol Hill where the protesters are coming in. They're actually screaming at them because they're doing stupid stuff.
Yeah,
and it's not just Democrats and Republicans; it's both sides.
Well, which one in place did you want to go first on?
Toss a quarter up in the air. Let's see where we go from there. We could go from Kamala Harris tossing her hat up in the air saying, "Oh, we shouldn't be prosecuting people who smoke weed."
Well, we got
after she's already prosecuted 1,900 people in her county jurisdiction alone.
Well, when she was a judge, so before she was VP. Well, I've got two of them with that I could show. I'll show the first one first, which is in 2016, whenever Tulsi Gabbard was running for Democratic candidate as president. Yeah. So when she was a Democrat, now she's a Republican and still kind of speaks kind of strong. So that's probably why she didn't get put in to begin with. So I'm learning me a new system here for adding stuff. So
Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Yeah, buddy. That's a winner.
Yep. Hey, Chris, how's it going, Chris? You're on mute if you didn't know, but a mysterious hand comes out.
There we go. Hey.
There he is.
What's up, man? How have you been doing?
I've been
kind of like the rest of us, huh?
Hi.
Hey.
How have you been doing?
We're good. Been busy.
Been busy?
I just been waiting for the shit to, hit the fan.
Well,
I figured the shit will hit the fan when the Democrats take away Trump's secret security detail. Yeah. If they manage to put his ass in jail, where they can have a personal Epstein assassination on him.
See, do they not realize that the can of worms they've opened?
No, they don't.
They're not.
They do, and they don't care. That's what they're wanting.
I don't know. I'm
sorry. That's just what they want.
I know that's what they want, but I think people are starting to realize that your can of worms you opened, they're trying to throw them all to the fish, and the people are all coming back and like, no, we see what you're doing. It's not, it's one of these, another, we got him this time.
No, you don't.
You
They
mean the
don't.
person going after him just is about to get arrested for fraud? That time you got him, or the time whenever y'all got caught lying to impeach him, or
No, it's because he started talking this time. And they say he violated the gag order, which is a violation of his First Amendment speech.
Yep. Well, that's what they truly want.
yeah.
Yeah, they just want.
They want freedom of speech, you know, the right to keep and bear arms. They want all that crap gone.
Hey, Debbie.
Well, I mean, there's been a whole bunch of people that's been upset. Hey, Miss Debbie, how are you doing, beautiful lady?
I talked to her the other day.
I don't know you, but hi anyway.
Hey, Miss Ruth, how you doing, darling?
Both of those are really sweet people, really nice people. So,
Absolute darling, darling, darling ladies.
yes,
I'm glad to call them friends.
me too. So, yeah, I mean, well, we're talking about cans of worms. Let's see what Kamala Harris says next on her.
With the vice presidential nod, Senator Kamala Harris's track record prosecuting marijuana cases is once again under scrutiny. A new report suggests there is more to Harris and marijuana than many know.
I think her evolution on the views sort of mirror what's going on in our country.
In May 2018, Harris announced she changed her mind, now supporting the legalization of marijuana. She previously opposed legalization efforts in California.
I am absolutely in favor of legalizing marijuana. We've got to do it. We have incarcerated so many, in particular young men and young men of color.
You have.
In a way that
particularly
we
you.
same level of use. Other young men.
She has even spoken openly about her own marijuana use.
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like in
And
college,
I inhale. I did inhale. It was a long time ago. But yeah.
At the time, those comments
it was like 10, 15 minutes.
She admitted to smoking weed before locking people up for it.
She put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana.
Here are the facts. According to data obtained by the Bay Area News Group, Harris oversaw roughly 1,900 marijuana convictions in San Francisco during her time as the city's district attorney, 6% more than her predecessor. But attorneys familiar with the cases tell the news group that a majority of the defendants arrested for low-level pot possession were never locked up.
I have had concerns. The full record. I have had concerns, which I think first of all, let me just make the statement very clear. I believe we need to legalize marijuana.
Black people are almost 4 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana possession than whites. Harris, a woman of color, says she recognizes that and acknowledges her own views have changed. Kellen Howell, Newsy, Washington.
Well, that's because they don't know when to shut up.
Well, that's because she was smoking pot back in the college years, but she went during the interview she was doing on radio or podcast. She said she was listening to Tupac and B. Diddy. Well, they didn't come on the scene to the 90s. So she's been smoking weed a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Still smoking it.
She's
I mean,
still.
She was listening to them. Hidden one, she's still smoking it. And lying about it.
I
Then
mean,
she still hadn't done nothing about it. So
just look at her.
Which might have something to do with that weird cackle laugh she has.
Well, I think that's a nervous twitch, actually.
I think that's a nervous twitch too. But yeah,
Well, I know
think
several
that's how
people
you
with
can
that
tell when
same
she's lying.
cackling laugh.
and when she knows she's cornered, is she'll start cackling like that when she knows she's cornered on something.
I keep waiting for her to lay an egg.
How do you know she hasn't?
That's true. How do you know she hasn't?
I don't want to know that.
Ask Joe Biden. I'm sure he knows. Well, no, he probably wouldn't remember anyway. But yeah, Joe Fox, FKH2. So,
Yep.
well, I mean,
But there's so much going on.
guess you could call her the cackling chicken and then get two birds with one stone with FCC, or well, then you'd have to say FFCC. But
Well,
I mean,
go ahead.
Come on, Chris. Cut loose, baby.
There's so much horrible crap happening all over this planet right now, everywhere. There's no place that's safe anymore.
Well, you
the
know,
whole people fighting over that high horse that doesn't actually exist. That's
well, I think part of the problem that they're having now is they've all been fighting over that high horse, and now their horses have gotten so tall they're all starting to fall on top of each other, I guess you could say. Because
those little rocking horses they rode into town on is rocked out of the way.
yeah, so
They
now like
rode
the
some of them.
whole Israel Palestine stuff, that's now
Oh my
y'all are all
gosh.
fighting each other on that. The whole migration thing, you're all fighting each other over that now too.
Yeah.
Now people are starting, when it comes to voting, a lot of these people are doing the same thing. They might not be voting for Trump, but they dang sure don't want to vote for Biden, and that's if he lasts till November. You know, I know a lot of people are predicting in May.
And
They're gonna-
JFK Jr. is rising in the polls.
RFK Jr.
RFK Jr. My bad.
Yeah.
that's Bobby's
Nephew or son.
But you know, those are the only three viable people we have running. Well, I take it back. There's a Democrat woman that actually talks like she might have some good common sense. We just got to work on her a little bit. But we don't ever hear anything from her because they don't want the Democrat Party to know that there's another viable, more intelligent person running than Joe Biden.
I didn't think that's not much of a challenge there, but
no, it's not, man. I could do it.
That's not much of a challenge. But yeah, that.
So you know, well,
I mean, while we were sitting there fighting about them trying to take Trump off of the ballots in Colorado, they pretty much, the DNC pretty much took Biden, or took everybody but Biden off like 3 state ballots. I mean, I know the incumbents usually
Florida
was one.
Florida, North Carolina, and Tennessee, I believe, was the other. Maybe it was Kentucky.
And that's why some people were saying, well, I think RFK Jr. said it. That's why he went to go run as an independent, because they kicked him off the ballot everywhere.
Yep.
And they
and
fund him.
the crazy thing is, there were some Republican states that went in and took Joe Biden off the ballot.
Well, Florida, the Republicans didn't take him off. The Democrats did.
Yeah. I don't know. I find myself, every time I start to talk about things, I find myself getting a fishing pole out,
Getting the fishing pole out?
Yeah, reeling myself in.
Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble too much. So.
That's my point.
Well, there is so much craziness going on. The media is going crazy. We got anywhere from the new mass grave over in Gaza of 210 bodies that they found, that most of them had bullet holes in their heads. That means they were assassinated.
Yeah, but we're not allowed to talk about that.
But we have people, and that's straight from Al Jazeera News broadcast. Then we got the people over in Columbia University that's protesting, had been there for over a week or right at a week. And now the financial backers and head contributors to that campus are pulling their funds and sending it elsewhere because Columbia University is not doing a whole lot toward it. They've set up a tent colony there.
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't just at Columbia. They were doing that whenever they started that protest, they did it at pretty much every New York university there. They were at, Yale. They were at
Harvard.
They were marching to the NYPD headquarters last night.
Yeah. They arrested a bunch of them.
Burn it down.
Yeah, and then they were like, NYPD is KKK. And I mean,
Ain't nobody more KKK than that last damn State of the Union address when he had all them women up there in their white uniforms.
Yeah, right.
Nothing says Special K's like a bunch of women all dressed in white. It's, we can't do it with the men because that's a no-no. We can't show them in a white sheet. But we can
Well,
dress women up in all white dresses and put them out there in one section. Then let Joe Biden go off on a tangent.
I was watching something earlier from the Black conservative perspective, and there's like this judge throwing a huge fit because a federal judge said that it is racist for business or for banks and stuff or businesses too to deny service to white companies and white people.
Good thing I
Because
don't
Well, it is racist.
well, it is racist, but they were saying that's not racist.
That's bullshit.
Hey, I'm a white guy. I can't pretend to be anything but a white guy.
Hey, Emmy, how's it going? I'm gonna really make her mad during this. So,
Hey, Emmy,
My pronouns.
get on in here, girl.
what were you gonna say, Chris?
I said my pronouns are me and I.
Here is one that was while that Columbia protest was going on, but this was from Google.
Yep.
Their protest.
There were some Google employees who are pro-Palestinian who had sit-ins in the boss's office for 10 hours. The guy who runs Google Cloud out on the West Coast and also in the offices here in New York City. Well, eventually they called the cops and these people were carted off. I think these people did not realize that you do not have a First Amendment right when you are on private property. And Google wanted them to be working. And here's the headline today, and this is breaking news. 28 of them, part of this group, they were all fired, terminated after there was an internal investigation. The company said, you can't do that.
No, it disrupts the office space. And the vice president of global security wrote in a memo that was leaked to the Post, said they took over office spaces, defaced our property, and physically impeded the work of other Googlers. Their behavior was unacceptable, extremely disruptive, and made coworkers feel threatened. We will not tolerate it.
Right. So that happened in one of the places it happened was in New York. So they get fired.
Why?
What's that?
They're all wearing masks, cowards.
Oh yeah. Well, they work at Google.
Well, they're wearing dark glasses and masks because they don't want it to be known on social media who they are and what they're doing.
Well,
That's part of the Soros crowd there. They're being
Yeah.
paid protesters.
well, they ain't getting paid no more because Google fired them all. So
Yeah, they are. They're getting paid by the George Soros Foundation.
well, they probably are. Yeah, you're probably right. But
They're
Google ain't paying them
paid.
no
They're
more.
paid activists.
They
get
I
paid
don't know if it's right.
$1,200 per event to go out and protest.
I really don't. Well, that wasn't even an event. That was a sit-in. They all worked for Google. That was a sit-in at Google.
Yep.
So they just wouldn't go home and they wouldn't work. And they would come in and first they served them all trespassing notices. Then they were like, if you don't get up and leave, you're getting arrested. And then Google put them on administrative, or they all got arrested and Google put them on administrative leave, then fired them all.
Yep.
So, and I don't have
insane.
I don't even have a First Amendment right on here most of the time, just because this is owned by Google, and Google obviously doesn't respect First Amendment rights. Otherwise, a lot of us wouldn't get blocked so much. So
That's true. That's true. But it's crazy and absolutely insane at what's going on out there nowadays.
I mean, yeah,
We
let's
got
see.
migrants getting evicted. We got Nigerians protesting on the Capitol at the the City Hall, showing up to get their work visas, and they're told nope, ain't happening.
Well, they were promised it would happen. That's what they were told.
Yeah. They told all of them, show up here on this day at this time so you can get your work visa.
And then the thing they always say, well, there's always been a problem at the border. Not like this. Not like this.
Hey, look, show the one where they're coming in on the boat, Chad.
Yeah, this was down in California, not even Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yep.
go to the West Coast. Let's see how bad it is over there.
Probably worse, ain't it?
Not on boats. You're usually coming in on boats here in Florida and stuff. So,
yep.
Because they'll island hop and then come in on the boats here, and then in California, all they have to do is cross the border again. So, or usually.
Well, they're being shot at on the border. I didn't show that one because I didn't figure we needed to get kicked off first night back after 3 weeks off.
I don't see a policy of any kind being structured to stop what's happening on the southern border right now.
Yep.
Well, they're trying to mix it all in, and then they just pass it anyway. But they were trying to mix that in with the Ukraine-Israel stuff, funding, trying to say it was all part of the Department of Homeland Security, and then they went and flipped it around. And I guess now they said this bill that passed, I hadn't had time to dig into it too deep, but I know they recently, I think the Senate or the House one passed it, and it's got to get approved by the other one. And
the House, the Congress passed it, and it's got to go to the senators.
Yeah, that's Senate
and $60 billion to Ukraine.
Whoops, that's the wrong video I was about to put up.
$60 billion. We just finished tax season, people. How much did you pay? Each of you pay in taxes?
Couldn't tell you.
We didn't pay anything.
Oh yeah, y'all wouldn't be.
We don't have enough money to pay taxes.
I don't have enough money to pay taxes either, but by God, I do.
I really don't have the money to pay taxes either, but
I got the W-2s to prove it.
Were you aware that constitutionally taxes are illegal?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
I am too, but I know how that we can find ways around that all we want. And
that's what politicians are for.
Huh?
Yeah.
I wonder how many politicians are actually paying their taxes.
Stop and consider what would happen if 90% of the people in this country decided they just weren't going to pay taxes this year. You can't arrest everyone.
Arrest everyone.
Then we
we're already in trouble.
Well, you know what?
What's a little bit more?
They keep spending our money, our hard-earned money, paid into taxes on garbage that they want, and do not take the American citizens' needs and opinions into account. Therefore,
thank you very much.
We continue to support them and their little cause.
Yep.
I don't trust any of them.
I don't trust any of them either. I don't care. Trump fan or not, or Trump supporter or not, I'm not one that's going to go and say that whatever Trump says is law either. So, you know,
there's about 4 people up there in Washington, D.C. I'll actually believe.
Now, Byron Donalds down there in Florida would be one of them that I'd believe right now, but I don't know.
Byron Donalds is one of them. Marjorie Taylor Greene's one of them. Mark Gates is one of them.
Yeah.
And the other one from Michigan.
I don't know anybody from Michigan, so.
I can't remember her last name.
She could probably tell you who. Let's see. I'm still getting used to doing different shares on here, so.
I like John Kennedy.
Oops.
I do. Senator from Louisiana.
Yeah, I love him.
Haney.
He's too old to be president too. Probably he probably doesn't want to be president. I don't ever see.
Why can't we find? Oh, wait a minute. We do have one, Vivek Ramaswamy or whatever his name is. But you know, he just got T-boned by a liberal today.
Well,
they left the scene of the accident.
See, that doesn't surprise me, and that makes me sad that nothing surprises me anymore.
You're kind of right about that. I'm going to see if I can find a better video of that while we're sitting here. But yeah, I really like him, but he's just too young. I don't know enough about him. He was in the whole pharmaceutical, big pharma business. He didn't vote until 4 years ago. So 3.5 years ago, whatever you want to call it. So, oops. I got two computers here, so I'm trying to type.
Well, there's always the chance that, he learned some things from being in the pharmaceutical business about, things.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So,
yeah, but who would we pick if we didn't have Biden, Trump, or Kennedy?
To be president?
Yeah, who would they run for? Who would they run?
Obviously, Democrats don't have anybody else.
Hakeem Jeffries is who they would run. They're grooming him to run for president against Vivek.
Yeah. Well, that's the last thing we need is him as president.
Yeah, unfortunately. I thought there for a while he might actually be a good Democrat, but it's 2-3 minutes of listening to him. Yeah, no, he's not one of them.
I just don't understand why people keep voting for the Confederate Party in general.
Yeah.
Because they want the government to be taking care of all their needs. They're lazy.
Well,
they don't want to work. They don't want to fend for themselves. They want Big Papa, the slave master, to whoever, the owner, to take care of all their needs. Give them everything free. Why work?
Well, we can add taxes and it'll help everybody. And we're the government. We're here to help.
We work and we hand them all of our money, and we have nothing.
Here's the story. Here's the story of that boat, high-speed boat coming up in
migrants washing ashore along the North County coast this weekend.
California.
It's not the first smuggling attempt that we've seen this year here in San Diego County. Our Sarah Legre spoke with community leaders who are demanding action from the state and federal government, and she joins us live this evening with more on that. Sarah?
Well, Phil, in the last week alone, there have been nearly 7,000 encounters at the San Diego sector of the border. I mean, this is the highest in the country, and data all backed by CBP. And now we got video showcasing a maritime incident right here in Carlsbad. And like you said, this is just one out of several incidents we've seen up and down the San Diego coast within the last year.
So that was the one they caught on video. Look, there was a kid right there.
This viral video now surfaced.
Yep.
Whoops.
And out of several incidents we've seen up and down the San Diego coast within the last year.
Or a surfer. There was a surfer right there.
Yep.
They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
This viral
Kids
video
walking
now
on the beach.
surfacing nationwide shows a boat carrying over a dozen undocumented migrants racing ashore at a high speed just along the Carlsbad coast.
They're not afraid. Blatantly coming in and noon on a Saturday to a crowded beach.
It's what brought
The
several local leaders, along with
boat
Carlsbad
coming
Mayor
ashore.
Keith Blackburn, to the setting of the site Monday. They say they need to see better enforcement and higher penalties at the state and federal level for real change.
See,
It's
1,
starting to
2,
get
3,
so
4,
blatant,
5, 6.
they're not
Yep.
concerned about any kind of enforcement.
In the video, you could spot surfers looking to catch a wave, dodging its path just before the vessel reached the sand, as
That
more than
thing's moving.
16 people
Yeah.
soon hopped out one by one.
16.
You can see the group piling into this black GMC.
They didn't want to
Some
get wet.
even seen struggling aboard as the car begins to drive
guess
away just along this suburban neighborhood near Ocean Street.
It looked like it was all a planned deal.
Some residents now fed up with what they say is becoming a trend and want to see more action at the local level.
Women,
Frustrated.
children,
Just as
and
I
men.
listened to what they had to say today was their hands are tied and they could do absolutely nothing.
Yet some leaders say there's only so much they can do.
Senate Bill 54, our state legislators decided that our local police may not, they're prohibited from
They just left
interfering
them
with
standing
any
there.
kind of immigration. They must just call Border Patrol.
The Border Patrol agents, they're great people, but their hands are tied. They have not been able to stop people from coming across the border.
For Elias Aguaniga, he saw the boat after the migrants left.
I think the thing to do is probably to find a way to assist these folks.
For him, that comes from bipartisan support to help find refuge for the migrants who
Where's
abandoned the
freaking
boat
Marines
along the
at? They're just
Carlsbad
built
shore.
food.
The issue of immigration has been highly politicized to the point where it kind of instills hatred, or people just look at the other as something foreign, something that they want out.
Yeah, this incident did happen over the weekend, and CBP still working on confirming some of the details of this investigation, but they say at this point no arrests were made. For now, that's the very latest here from Carlsbad. Sarah Legray, Fox 5 News.
Of course, no one was arrested.
Even if they are,
None of them were arrested. None of them were documented. And now they're loose in our country. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they came from. And we don't know what they're here for.
Yep.
Grant you, some of them probably came here for a better life. But who bought the boat? Who brought them in? Well, let's see. Let's think about it. Drug cartels.
Sex traffickers. Human traffickers, for that matter.
Yeah, in general.
Yeah, in general. Trafficking, period.
Not only do we catch them on video coming in like this, undocumented, no way to document them. Once they got in that car and they left, they're gone.
Yeah,
they're gone.
Those are part of the gotaways. But we also have our government flying them in, airplane by airplane, from out of the country.
Yep. Apparently, a lot of
we'll just distribute them once we get them here.
A lot of those refugee organizations are just a cover for, trafficking.
Oh man, don't even get if I'm not even going to get started on that because we only got about 15 minutes left, and that's another friend of our story to tell on the logbook. But our friends from the logbook,
it's bad.
Spent about a month down at Eagle Pass, and it blew their mind. They thought they were going down there to help secure the border and to do research down there and stuff. And it was all going to be because they're conservative. They all thought it was going to be, they're in Texas. They thought, it was all going to be about protecting the border. Oh, no. It was scary. I mean, she showed us some videos. It was scary down there.
It's bad scary. And there are more videos coming out now where they actually have people shooting at the illegals to stop them from tearing down the razor wire fences.
I mean, I wasn't even
not
talking
the
about
logbook. These are videos that are on YouTube, folks.
I was talking more about the videos of where pretty much how San Antonio police were pretty much just handing people over and letting the sex traffickers and the human traffickers pretty much come and handpick who they wanted to take.
Yep, the ones who are Democrats get on the buses and get sent to
whatever
city. No, the ones who promise to vote, be a Democrat and vote for the Democrat Party, get sent to the major urban areas and processed in there. The ones who don't get handed off to the drug cartels. The human traffickers, where they take them and they put them into the factories like, oh hell, Tyson.
Oh yeah, Tyson.
Major.
Yeah, if Kathy Hilton, why wouldn't you send them to rural areas so you can swing the vote?
A lot of them are coming to rural areas. The little town I live in, we have a processing center here.
And
there's not one damn thing we can do about it.
And see,
because this is a sanctuary city.
I do kind of agree with Kathy on that. That's what I was saying. It's not just, I don't think they're just taking the Democrats because of, but one thing that they are doing is sending them to the big cities, and then the big city, actually, Kathy, that brings up a good point, and I wish I had the video up right now, but they were saying that,
when they did the census vote, they count the bodies. The people who live there, it gives them more votes, electoral votes.
Well, yeah, that's true, Kathy.
For their districts.
It will, enlarging their city so they get more congressional districts. That's also true, because that's happened here in Florida where they remapped it, and it was called all kinds of things because they remapped it because
the rezoning.
Yeah, the rezoning pretty much. But actually is what Tyson did is they shut down that plant, or shutting down that plant in Iowa, and I forget what state they're opening it up in, and it is a more southern state if I remember right. It was like Tennessee or something like that, and they openly admitted they were hiring migrants. And while they're doing all this,
because they are non-union and they pay less.
Places like Tyson can apply for or can support you or whatever for your visa, your work visa. So there's actually a database, and this Tyson openly admitted all this, said there's a and well, it's not just for Tyson, but to where these undocumented people or whatever can come in and put in their information, and actually they can pretty much go through there and hand select the undocumented people they want to work for them and just ship them down to Tyson and put them in trailer park or whatever else, whatever way they're gonna. I mean, I know people that work for them companies that just go and park in a van outside their work and live outside the van if they'll let them stay there, or go to Walmart and park and.
Well, a lot of places like Tyson, they have what they call work camps, which are the same thing as the migrant centers in New York City, which is a motel.
Yeah, pretty much.
And there may be 2, 3, 4 people in one room.
A lot of the places that Tyson goes to is already
a lot of the places that they're hiring them into is a kill facility, which is one of the probably the grossest places you'll ever go.
Well, actually,
and you're right, it does seem like it should be poor migrants, but it's, you know what?
Yeah.
When that's all you can get, that's what you take.
Well, Kathy, I think that it takes more than just be willing to work to become a citizen. And there are Americans working for that job. That's why they're laying them all off. But the illegals or undocumented will work for a lot cheaper. So now pretty much with the way the policies are working now, instead of them just going down to Mexico and open a company, they're opening the companies in America to get past the tax tariffs or the tariffs and just hiring everybody from the south.
And you're right. And you're right, Kathy. If your family does join the military, after so many years, you do get a citizenship. I think it's 4 years.
I'm not against that.
I'm not against that.
I mean,
that was started back in the Civil War.
And I know it's been bypassed in some ways and stuff, but no, it's like give them a chance for an American dream. No, Tyson is trying to help poor immigrants, it seems. Well,
they're getting cheap labor.
They're getting cheap labor, exactly. Americans should come first, and if you want your American dream, still come through the front door. And now the people that are trying to come through the front door are getting extremely backlogged because of all these people not coming through the front door and just giving a ticket.
10 years.
Show up.
10 years for a visa.
It says
Think
there
about
aren't
it,
enough
folks.
Americans currently, and they're trying to become Americans. Well, then how come there's so many homeless sitting out on the street if there aren't enough Americans that are Americans? Why is there places are saying cities are overcrowded? You know, Bill Gates said that the whole earth is overcrowded. So
I have to agree with that.
Kathy, the entire reason they're coming here is because they see that we had a strong economy that's crashing very rapidly. Very rapidly, that economy is crashing.
But what these people fail to realize is that the place they're running to is very quickly becoming the place they're running from.
Amen.
And
very well said.
20 years ago, at least, when people did come here illegally, They did not get free money from the government. They did not get a place to stay. They did not get
They
anything.
came with
In
money.
fact, they didn't even have to come with money. It was okay. Yeah, I'm standing outside Home Depot. I'll do that sheetrock job for you for $50, $100. You know, they got paid cash. Their whole
did good
family
work.
lived in one house of maybe 1 or 2 generations. You'd have 10 people living in one house. They'd all get together, go out to work, you know, do
They do
jobs
that,
instead of.
and they live in shifts. They have like 2 or 3 different families living in one home, and they live in shifts.
Yeah,
And one
gross
of
domestic
them are there,
product is
the other
gross.
rest of them
You
are
know
going to
why? You know why it
Inflation would be
increased?
another reason.
Because our population increased with the migrants. That's not the
Well, that's
economy.
gross domestic product, but gross domestic product does not count the debt we get from it, and not to mention inflation. You honestly, Kathy, I really don't understand, unless you're a troll, why you would think that how anybody living in America could think the economy is not failing right now.
Well, it's Kathy is giving us an opposite view, and we welcome those.
Why is it okay to
But
steal construction jobs? I don't think it is okay to steal construction jobs.
it's not
union.
not okay to steal any jobs from the people in the country that need those jobs.
And if you want to talk
The
about union
citizens.
jobs, why is it okay
The
to steal
citizens.
construction jobs? Okay. She's saying, why is it okay to steal construction jobs and not union jobs? Well, Kathy, that's another thing right there.
When Tyson shut down all those plants and started hiring migrants, all the people who worked in those plants were union. They shut down the plant,
They shut down the
closed,
union,
and
yeah.
took those jobs and give them to non-union migrants.
And if you look in New York City right now, actually a lot of the union leaders are fighting to make it okay for the illegals to become union leaders, or not union leaders, union workers. So they are trying to get, and then they can flush out all that union stuff and make everything. And I was
They're
saying the
taking
Home
jobs
Depot
from
guys are okay.
everybody.
I really don't mind. I mean, I'm not 100% against illegal immigration. It's whenever you start kicking your own people out, like I'll show you a video right now about that. So this is in Chicago, where they are getting very angry.
That's just to say the least of it.
Because they are getting their stuff taken away and given to migrants instead.
They're losing their schools. They're losing their community centers. They're losing their.
Are angry. They believe the city has overextended itself and should be putting the tens of millions of dollars earmarked for migrants into Chicago's most vulnerable neighborhoods.
But the South Side has under-resourced, underfunded for years, for decades. We have schools that need to be reopened. We have buildings that are abandoned that need to be business operated.
The group says the city has abandoned its Invest Southwest initiative, a Lightfoot-era program that was dedicated to reversing decades of disinvestment on Chicago's South and West sides, promising to align more than $2.2 billion through public and private funding.
We are taxpayers, we're property owners. Our money should go towards fixing our communities.
The city has received more than 15,000 migrants since August 2022.
We have no more room. Y'all are embarrassing Chicago as a whole.
According to analysis by the ABC7 data team, there are more than 20 active migrant shelters across the city, 7 located on the south and west sides.
Whether it's one shelter or whether it's 10 shelters, we're saying the facilities that are there for us, the money needs to be put into those facilities for us.
In a statement from the mayor's office about the group's concerns and the status of Invest Southwest, a spokesperson says in part, quote, "We are committed to continued investment for all residents, but especially communities on the south and west sides that have long experienced disinvestment. We are the city of Chicago, and our shoulders are big enough to support both new arrivals and those who have long called this city home.
Mayor Johnson, the black aldermen and black alderwomen in this city, you will stand for the black citizens of Chicago.
Now, the city says Mayor Johnson knows firsthand the impact of neglect on a vulnerable community and that he will never stop investing in people, all people, and delivering the affordable housing, fully funded schools, safer streets, and living wages that every person deserves in this city. So obviously you're hearing the mayor saying that the city it has big enough shoulders to handle both the south and west sides, all of the neighborhoods, as well as the new arrivals. But of course, the people you heard from, they believe otherwise, and they're hoping that more attention be focused on the south and west sides.
One of many layers to the migrant crisis, certainly.
Watch breaking.
And as far as like that kind of stuff goes, Kathy, yes, I guess they are to a point. Most of the time, those kind of construction workers that would hang out at Home Depot would be people that probably, you're right, I guess they would be stealing somebody's job, but they're also, the company's not, or somebody's not going to hire them. They're just sitting out there. And if they're going to work for $50, then it's easier than doing it by yourself. So it's easier to do that. But another thing is even with all the complaining people did about illegals before, they weren't a burden on the tax system. I mean, a burden on the taxpayer. They just didn't pay taxes.
Okay.
Well, Tyson admitted a lot of that. And I don't trust, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, but I don't trust.
I don't trust Snoops. They're full of disinformation.
Like I said, they can work around that. They are not illegal.
And
once
the
they hang around
information
because they can
goes
get on
both
more people.
ways. But it's not just Tyson.
It's
It's
hard
every major company out there. It's Procter and Gamble and General Mills and Walmart and Kmart and Target.
Say it's fake news, and I'll check out some of them after the show just to see what
All
they say.
news is fake.
Yeah.
Always has been.
I
They
can attest to what I can attest to what I have seen personally, and I travel the United States.
Well, Sally's a truck driver, Kathy.
Yeah.
I see stuff that people don't see. I see stuff that's not on the news. And I actually talk to the people. And
But
I've
all
talked to the migrants that come over here, and I ask them, I said, why do you come here? Because we want to live the American dream.
She's talking at the truck stops, Kathy. She's being a smartass now.
They tell me they want the American dream. Well, you know, if you want the American dream, you need to come here the right way.
Yeah.
Don't come here and expect for us to give you everything that you think you want and you deserve.
You know what George Carlin said about the American dream, right? That you have
I've
to
heard
to believe it. That's why they call it the American dream.
Yeah.
Because is it possible? Yes, absolutely possible.
But it takes a whole lot of hell of a lot of hard work.
People don't ever reach that level. Not really. Not what most people would think of being the American dream, being butt rich and living in a mansion. See, I wouldn't care if I had millions of dollars. I still wouldn't be living in a gigantic freaking house. Somebody's got to clean it.
Now look at Elon Musk. He likes to live in little things, but I wanted to show a little bit of good things since our show's almost over. I wanted to show a good thing that I saw from, I think it's in California, or no, St. Paul, Minnesota. And just a PSA from I'll give a PSA after it real quick, and then we'll end it. But, well, this is a serious one. This one is something people should have with them. That, oops, if I can find the right tab. And I'm trying it on the wrong computer again. So this was in St. Paul. This was a Good Samaritan job.
Oh yeah, that guy somebody was stuck in the truck in the vehicle.
Yeah. The guardrail had him trapped on the door.
But he can't just bust the window out. Hey,
this guy here runs over here.
Well, you can't blame him. You know that's hot.
No, he was. That one other guy did. Heck, he might have been going to call 911 if nobody had already. Somebody did have a fire extinguisher. See, that guy has something plastic he found on the side of the road trying to bust the window. And it fell apart.
Everybody should have one of those little pins.
Yep. They got him out, and that thing busted into flames.
Yeah.
Yep. And I see this all too often on the road.
I'm sure you do.
It breaks my heart every time I come up on this.
Didn't they get him out? No, they didn't get him out yet. That there was when they got him out right there. Shit. Okay. Into that fire pretty deep too. That thing, that thing was putting on some heat.
Yeah.
So my PSA was going to be always carry you something like a hammer, something with a sharp edge on it. Probably better even a hatchet with a flat end on it. That'd be good to carry even inside the car with you. A fire extinguisher and a knife.
A sharp knife.
Because I don't know how many times I've watched videos, especially here in Florida, where somebody drives through the water or there you go, right there. Because that's tempered glass, so you punch it on the window, kicking it, hitting it with plastic, anything else like that.
No, you
gotta have a sharp edge
to hit it in a very specific point too.
Yeah, it's got to be sharp. I mean, you got to have a point to that thing and hit it with something hard in order to break that tempered glass, because that's what it's made to do, is to be able to take things like, well, even not necessarily fist punches, but just like the glass in your refrigerator door. It's not meant, if you hit it with a sharp object, it's going to break, but it can hold all that weight of that stuff on your fridge. So, you know, that's what I was going to say is definitely, I mean, I carry a tool set, a jack, and all kinds of stuff in my machete in my car, but, and something sharp like that in case that guy had his seatbelt on and couldn't get it off. You can cut that seatbelt off. I was saying about cars here in Florida, you see them all the time getting swept away by water or driving off into a pond, and you ain't going to push that door open. And if you got a seatbelt on, you might not be able to get that. Or if somebody else is trapped in the car, you might not be able to get that seatbelt off. So you're going to have to cut that thing off. And
if you can't see,
drag them through a window.
Get you one of those pocket knives that has the little stud on the back side of it, just for breaking your window. Then you got yourself covered because you got the knife too to cut the seatbelt.
Right. Not to mention self-defense and everything else in case somebody tries to carjack you. So
I don't know why people keep trying to drive across water. I was taught very young, if you can't see the ground, turn around.
Don't drown.
I've driven around or driven through some water, but I knew how deep it was.
You know, but I mean, I drove through some water in a truck. I had to get out and actually cut the fan belt off. You know, because it didn't have a clutch fan.
Oh,
yep.
Then it started hitting the water. The engine started going.
All right. Well,
it's been another great week.
It has been. So,
and we want to thank Chris for joining us tonight. We'd like to thank Kathy and Ruth and Deborah and Joe and Vincent and just everybody who commented on the videos.
Kimberly,
all of you who took the time to like, share, show us a little love, a little heart, who got a giggle out of it and gave us a little chuckle. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. And sometimes you just got to say,
fuck it. Yeah. Well, glad
y'all see you next week.